Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Tuesday the 21st of April. Okay, looking at oil first, as it's made an unprecedented move there to actually, it shows the zero mark. It actually went down to, I understand, minus $20 at some point as traders effectively paid not to take delivery of their contracts. In fact, they didn't want to take the physical delivery. And they literally paid not to take the oil away. So they actually, I mean, we've heard negative interest rates, as some of you have heard, but negative oil prices, well, it's a first. Anyway, so, well, first in modern times, I should say. Anyway, so there we are. It bottomed. Those people that were trading this through brokers, you'll probably be on a rolling contract, and it rolled over to the new contract. One broker I look at, it changed contracts last week, last Friday, I think it was Thursday or Friday, it switched across to the new contract. But even that, it's moved down from nearly $27 down to $20. I got stopped out on my own position that I was looking for long at that point. But as I've said yesterday, I will look to return into the very volatile price of oil at the moment, but at a point where I feel that there's some sort of support. So at the moment I'm just sitting waiting to return into oil. But there we are at the moment, and I'm looking at it as a longer term position. It's not just a short term position. So that's oil. Not a lot more to say on that for a moment. Euro dollar has come back to dailies. So yesterday pitched into its weekly pivot as expected, but it did pull back off that, and it's still sitting off that at the moment. Where to today? Well, it's put the bullish engulf, bullish Harami even sitting there on the 4 hourlies as I'm looking here. Bit volatile where it's sitting at the moment, around 8 o'clock open here. It's just opened, it's shot down immediately, but well, we'll see how this fares this morning. Looking at what I can see here now, it looks like a lower highs are coming through there. The bigger picture I was looking at, it was on that 4 hourly picture I was looking at there, put a higher low in yesterday. Looked like it might have held through and pushed through. Could still do so. A break of last Friday's lows really confirmed the sort of continuation of then a lower high compared to a more significant high, but at this stage it's not a clear morning here. If anything, maybe traders will be looking at a break of these the trend line across these lows here, maybe for further downside, but it's maybe worth being patient this morning again. So it's so many of these mornings lately, it's not always the clearest. Yesterday was a little bit clearer. It went quite quickly but turned around just as quick. Cable, it's continued its slow retracement here, and I say it's pretty slow mostly. Looking at it at 4 hourly, it's down to its weekly S1 at the moment, finding support off that sort of level. I don't think, well, there are some other highs around that area, so there's other horizontal support around that sort of area. Just short of that 124 area. Where to this morning? Again, it's looking at this lower highs, lower lows, it does look bearish. It looks more likely a bearish roll may occur. Does, however, have the weekly pivot above. I would just sit here and wait for a while to see if it shows its hand. It's been pretty solid in trying to get back at times. We had some real sort of solid upward moves last week there at times, but at the moment, as I say, again, not totally clear on this. My preference would be probably to be trading with this trend here and looking for the break and selling off and looking for new lows there. Okay, dollar yen. Yen, well, the very fact the yen is coming down and the other markets are coming down as well suggests to me that this is a move away from is a move to safety and away from the risk area, and you were seeing this just sort of pitching down at the moment. Yesterday, really choppy old day, sitting through the day there. Today, well, as I say, it looks like at the moment, maybe if they get the opportunities is to sell into retracements here, but it does look like it's there's money continue to go into this dollar yen. Aussie dollar. Aussie dollar, this big picture would excuse me, it looks like a bull flag, but we'll see. It's softer. It's almost looking like lower highs may come through, but it has at the moment been putting higher lows in there, and this short-term movement, a break of last week's low there would confirm a lower high, and well, it may shape the Aussie up a little bit differently, but again, bullish Harami sitting there on the 4 hourlies here. Maybe it's got potential to kick back a little bit today. Again, daily pivots above, but really looking back towards that rising 60 at the moment. Rising 60-minute rising 200. Let's get the right way around. So there's the potential. I'm still erring a bit more positively on the Aussie. Although I can see this movement, you could easily say, well, actually, if it breaks this trend here, I'll look for the downside, but it's already moved down a considerable amount here, and I do wonder if we'll see more of a bounce. Canadian dollar handing over and rolling, or softening against this US dollar pushing up here again, much more solid with oil. I've said this a number of times about the Canadian dollar. I did wonder why it was doing so well back here last week, coming down. But there you go. It's given up the ghost at the moment, and well, we're seeing the push back up there. We may see further upside on Canadian dollar yet. Intraday, it's notoriously awkward to get in and trade at times, so it's not one I would recommend if you're looking at swing, where you may already be in a position on the oil on CAD there. So it does look soft though. Okay, that's pretty much it. Oh, look at the S&Ps. I've looked at oil. Have a quick look at what the S&Ps are up to, and well, come back to dailies there. Last week, well, we saw the sell back on Friday there. Monday's sold back there. Didn't actually show it so clearly on this chart as it did on the lower time frames there. So pitched up, and just looking through here. There we go. Sold off. I was looking for Friday's price action here, pushed off. It didn't actually show the gap here. There's the gap. That's what I was looking for on that time frame. That gap did get filled last Friday. Since then, it's taken out that low, putting a lower high in, again lower high, and again a lower high. So there's a number of lower highs coming through this. As it's sitting at the moment, it looks like it's trying to push back up there, but I'm bearish really on the S&Ps at the moment. Now it's not to say it won't push back up there, but I do wonder, as we see the further figures coming through, whether this will topple over once again. Okay, that's pretty much it for me. Have a great day. Bye for now.